of two ways. You can deadlift with a sumo stance or a conventional. So the conventional deadlift is what most people have seen. Conventional deadlift, you're basically just standing with your feet about hip or shoulder width apart, and you're going to basically pick the bar up with your arms on the outside of your knees. So this position. In the sumo deadlift, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to have a pretty wide stance, and you're going to reach down between your knees with your arms and deadlift in that position. So that's going to, something like that. You stand up with the bar from between your knees. So the first thing I'll go over is just the conventional deadlift. Some of the things that apply to conventional also apply to the sumo also. So the first thing you want to do is get up to the bar and figure out where you want to stand. I like to do that first instead of getting down, but you don't have to. So the bar should start midway over your foot. It shouldn't be too close to your shins, and it shouldn't be too far out in front of you. If it's too close to you, you're not going to be able to get your legs to really push off the ground. If it's too far away, you're going to basically have too much of the weight in your lower back and not enough control. So I like to just stand in front of the bar, feel like I can bend my knees a little bit. I'm not going to bang into the bar with my shins, and I feel like I'm in a position where my legs are really powerful. You can stand a little wider if you like, or you can stand fairly close. So I'm kind of close, kind of in the middle. The second thing you want to do is reach down to the bar and take a grip. Most people grip the bar with a mixed grip. So one hand is going to grip overhand, one hand is going to grip underneath. And when you take your grip, just pay attention so you take an evenly spaced grip. You don't want to grip too narrow, you don't want to grip too wide. If you grip wide, that just makes the range of motion excessive. If you grip too narrow, you're not going to really be able to pull with the full strength of your upper back. So more or less just kind of reaching straight down is going to give you the best setup. So once you've gotten your grip, it's very important that you pull with a kind of a straight and tense lower back. So that means basically getting your hips low, not too low, but getting your hips down so you can feel the pressure in your thighs, and getting the pressure of your stomach and lower back to kind of keep your spine neutralized. Your shoulders should be not too tense, but not totally relaxed either. So from here, I'm deadlifting by basically pushing with my legs, and then when I get to the top, standing up straight. So your chest is up. You don't need to lean back excessively, but you should be tall with your chest up and shoulders back. Let's try that again. Lower my body weight, hips down, feel a little pressure in my thighs. I'm keeping my stomach and my lower back tense, and I'm just driving up, pushing off the ground, and then finishing tall. Alright, so now in a sumo deadlift, it's important to get your feet set again. And for the sumo deadlift, you're trying to leverage your hips and your quads a little bit more. You're reducing the range of motion, and you're trying to keep your hips close to the bar. So from the side, that would be your hips stay close to the bar because you're using your flexibility versus your hips staying kind of far back behind the bar. So let's see how it's set up for sumo. You can use the rings on the bar to kind of set your feet so they're equally spread apart. And what I like to do is just kind of bend my knees a little bit and feel like my balance is good. I can feel a little pressure kind of pushing out. That way your hips are engaged. Similar to the conventional deadlift, the next thing, you want to reach down and take a mixed grip on the bar. So one hand over, one hand gripping underneath. Now you don't have to do that. You can grip both hands over with a hook grip, but that's a different story. So when you take your grip for the sumo deadlift, again, you don't want to have too narrow of a grip. Narrow grip might reduce your range of motion a little bit, but it makes it a little bit harder to really utilize all of your upper back strength. You're going to kind of rely on just the erectors in the spine, but not your lats. So take a grip on the bar. Again, I'm more or less reaching straight down. And once I'm ready to go, I want to kind of pull my chest up, feel some pressure in my legs, and I'm basically just pushing off the legs and standing up tall. So again, I'm going to lower the hips, keep my knees out wide, a little pressure on the, to keep the pressure in the hips, and I'm standing up by pushing off with my legs. So one thing I try to focus on is finishing the press with my legs as fast and as hard as I can. So when I finish the deadlift, I'm first locking out my knees, and that's going to give me all the acceleration I can get out of my legs. And then I'm going to basically finish by standing up tall. So again, drive with the legs, lock the knees out, and then the second will be finishing tall. Everybody's going to fall in love.